Buckle up because we are diving headfirst into the wildest reality television drama right now. First up, we have to talk about Laura Byrne, who is opening up about her experience hosting the companion series MAFS, After the Dinner Party. She is finally revealing the truth about her initial anxieties and how she managed to handle some of the most contentious reality stars in the game.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
The drama does not stop there, because Bec Zacharia is making headlines after her explosive run on the show. Despite a brutal exit, she is already teasing a potential return for a future season of Married at First Sight, and she even has a wish list of other high-stakes reality shows she wants to conquer next. But it gets even messier for Bec Zacharia as some truly vile messages have just been exposed to the public. Screenshots from a private group chat have surfaced showing her using some absolutely disgusting language directed at her co-stars Alyssa Faye and David Mamo, leaving the entire cast reeling from the fallout. Finally, we are breaking down the shock exit of Gia and Scott, who were caught on camera walking out of their apartments after a savage letter task gone wrong. You need to know if they actually quit the experiment for good, or if this is just another dramatic chapter in their journey. Stick around for all the updates, and hit that subscribe button with the bell icon turned on so you never miss a moment of the chaos. Ever wonder what it's like to go from being a contestant on a reality show to the one holding the microphone when the drama hits the fan? Laura Byrne, a veteran of The Bachelor, just stepped into the hot seat as co-host of MAFS, After the Dinner Party, and let me tell you, the experience was nothing like she expected. After nearly a decade in the public eye, Laura took on the mammoth task of dissecting the chaos of Married at First Sight. You'd think her biggest worry would be the intense scrutiny or the fiery confrontations. But as it turns out, her biggest anxiety was something much more personal: how to handle the interviews. Specifically, how do you sit down with someone whose values you fundamentally disagree with and still keep your cool? Turns out, that ended up being the most rewarding part of the entire gig. Laura brings an incredibly refreshing take on the villain narrative we see every season. When the show faced heat for platforming problematic behavior, even getting a mention from government officials, Laura pushed back. She argues that these people exist in the real world, and seeing their red flags on screen isn't just about entertainment. It's an education for the rest of us on what to look out for in our own dating lives. It's a bold take, but it highlights a crucial point. These shows act as a mirror to society, whether we like what we see or not. But here's the kicker, and maybe the most important takeaway from her experience. The villain edit is a two-way street. Laura is calling out the audience for what she calls feeding the beast. We love the drama, we tune in every week, and then we turn around and send death threats to people who are ultimately just human beings playing a role in a high-stakes social experiment. It's a sobering reminder that there's a real person behind that TV screen, no matter how much the editing makes them look like a caricature. So before you head to social media to pile on the next controversial contestant, maybe take a beat. Was the drama worth the entertainment? Probably. But is it worth the abuse? Definitely not. It's time we start leading with a little more kindness, even when we're hate-watching our favorite train wrecks. What do you think? Does reality TV go too far, or is it just reflecting the reality we live in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the stories everyone is talking about. Think back to the most explosive dinner party you've ever seen on Married at First Sight, and you'll probably think of Bec Zacharia. Her stint on the show was packed with drama, tears, and enough tension to power a city grid. Yet, in a move that might surprise even her biggest critics, Bec is officially putting her hand up for a return to the experiment. In a refreshingly honest chat on the Villain Edit podcast, Bec admitted she hasn't given up on the show's premise. She points to her friends Stella and Phil as the ultimate proof that the MAFS process can actually deliver a happy ending. And let's be real, who doesn't want that? But don't expect to see her back in a wedding dress just yet. Bec is taking a step back to focus on some serious personal growth, specifically using EMDR therapy to work through past trauma. It's a level of self-awareness we don't always see from reality stars, and honestly, it's refreshing. But it's not just MAFS on her radar. She's itching to test her mettle in the jungle on I'm a Celebrity or battle it out on Australian Survivor. She wants a platform to show the world the progress she's made since the cameras stopped rolling. Of course, Bec hasn't lost that signature fire that made her a household name. She recently doubled down on the infamous framing drama with Gia, showing absolutely zero regrets. It's clear she's playing by her own rules now, moving forward with a newfound sense of purpose. Whether you loved her or loved to hate her, you can't deny she makes for compelling television. So, would you watch a 2 version of Bec on our screens? Let us know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the latest reality TV updates. And remember, sometimes the loudest voices are just the ones working hardest to find their true selves. If you thought this season of Married at First Sight Australia couldn't possibly get any more chaotic, think again, because the drama has officially hit a new, ugly low. We have been glued to our screens watching the jaw-dropping antics of this cast, but nothing could prepare us for the bombshell that dropped during the 5th commitment ceremony. Just when it seemed like Bec Zacharia had turned a new leaf and buried the hatchet with her co-stars, the rug was pulled out from under everyone. It turns out that Juliette Key dropped a massive truth bomb, revealing screenshots from a private WhatsApp group chat that exposed Bec for saying some truly vile things about Alyssa Faye and David Mamo. Now let's dig into the dirt. We aren't talking about simple shade or a minor disagreement. We are talking about language that would make a sailor blush. According to the screenshots, Bec allegedly went on an absolute tirade, labeling Alyssa and David with some of the most offensive, explicit insults imaginable. She reportedly called them fake, among other choice 4-letter words, even going as far as to call Alyssa a rat and mocking her relationship. What is even more shocking? The other participants in the chat, like Gia Fleur, weren't exactly playing the voice of reason. Instead, the messages suggest a toxic echo chamber of pure vitriol, with Gia responding that she didn't care and would never like Alyssa anyway. It is honestly mind-boggling how quickly a group of people can turn against each other, especially when cameras are capturing every single second of the fallout. When these messages were finally revealed to Alyssa and David, their reactions were exactly what you would expect: complete, stunned silence followed by utter disgust. Alyssa confessed she was absolutely dumbfounded, noting that while she expected some drama, she never anticipated that level of hatred or such dehumanizing language. David echoed the sentiment, calling the words sickening. Honestly, can you blame them? It is one thing to have a dinner party spat, but this calculated, behind-the-scenes trashing takes the experience from reality TV drama to something much darker. This isn't just an isolated incident. It's the climax of a season-long buildup. We have watched Bec repeatedly target Alyssa throughout the experiment, from mocking her at dinner parties to ganging up on her with other cast members. It really forces us to ask, is this show about finding love, or is it just a breeding ground for professional-grade narcissism? What do you think about this explosive revelation? Does Bec deserve a second chance, or is this the bridge she can't unburn? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive into the wildest reality TV scandals. We'll be right here covering every single twist, so stay tuned. Is this officially the end for Gia and Scott on Married at First Sight Australia? If you were watching the latest episode, you probably felt that collective jaw drop when they marched out of the apartments with their suitcases in hand. We've seen plenty of exits, but this one felt different, raw, exhausted, and honestly completely done. Let's break down exactly what went wrong during this explosive feedback week. It all started with those infamous anonymous letters. You know the drill. Take a group of volatile couples, add complete honesty, and watch the chaos unfold. Gia and Scott decided to get real with Alyssa and David, but that backfired immediately. Alyssa didn't just disagree with the feedback. She practically suggested it belonged in the trash, calling it toilet paper. Talk about a savage comeback. But the real turning point came when Gia and Scott received their own letter from the show's golden couple, Stella and Philip. Now, you'd think the happiest couple would offer some gentle advice, but they went full throttle, suggesting Gia pull out of all group chats and get this, take a 10-day vow of celibacy. If you know anything about Gia and Scott's fiery dynamic, you know that suggestion was never going to fly. While Scott actually tried to process it, Gia hit her breaking point. She was done with the drama, done with the advice, and suddenly they were out the door. So is this curtains for them? Well, spoiler alert, despite the dramatic suitcase hauling, they aren't gone for good. They actually return for the very next dinner party. But let's be real. This is Gia's third walkout this season alone, following the screenshot drama and that intense dinner during family week. It makes you wonder, at what point does a walkout stop being a heat-of-the-moment reaction and start being a pattern? If they're going to survive this experiment, they need to stop packing bags and start finding some common ground. What do you think? Is this just a dramatic phase, or is their time in the experiment genuinely ticking down? Drop a comment below and let's discuss, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next deep dive into the latest MAFS chaos. Because in this experiment, just when you think you've seen it all, someone else usually walks out the door.